Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Coleman OMB. This is another edition of Coleman's Comments. Over the weekend I was out of town and I decided to stray a little bit away from my diet and my typical meal structure. Hell, to be honest, I went all out on some fried food. I generally eat really clean and I log all my meals on a notepad and paper, and that went out the window this past weekend because, you know, I'm Superman and nothing affects me. As a result of not doing that, I had a terrible stomach ache, and this got me thinking, I wonder if others go through this type of process and wonder what a well-balanced meal is and how to eat a little bit cleaner without losing motivation. So that inspired this video today. Let's start by defining a well-balanced meal in my terms. It's a lean protein, which is typically, you know, a chicken, a beef, or a fish, with one or two veggies that's like, you know, broccoli, asparagus, maybe some green beans or carrots, something like that. And then you get a solid carb source. So rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes are my go-to in this case, and a fat source. Most meats already have fat in them, and you don't necessarily have to trim all that out. But if you trim your meat and you want a fat source, add avocados. Here in the South, we tend to overcarb our meals, and what I mean by that is every piece of the meal has some form of carb in it. Like maybe it's breading, maybe it's actual bread, and things along that line. Think about if you've been to Red Lobster or any restaurant, you get like the captain's platter, you get fried fish, fried everything, and your whole plate's brown. And when you have the same colors and textures in your plate, more than likely you're going to be overcarbed, and that's not a balanced meal. And another example of an unbalanced meal is the meal that I had this past weekend, which was country fried steak and gravy, mashed potatoes, fried green tomatoes, and macaroni and cheese. All of which have a carb. Some of them are loaded with fat because of the grease, and it just was not a good end result. The first result is sleepiness, drowsiness, bloating, and for me, the eventual stomach ache, which was not fun. And I'm telling you this in an honest fashion because I want everybody to understand the difference between the unbalanced and the well-balanced meals. A simple way to balance your meal is to use what I call the 15-ounce rule. 5 ounces of your protein, 5 ounces of your veggies, and 5 ounces of your carbs. Now that may or may not fit your goals, so you're probably going to want to consult some websites and actually adjust the carbs or the veggie intake depending on whether you're trying to build muscle or burn fat. I'm not a big believer in extreme diets, the ketos, the intermittent fastings. I've done some of those, especially intermittent fasting, and they work, but they don't always work, and some of them are kind of extreme and they don't really allow you to enjoy yourself, which is why when I cook, I'm not afraid to use Italian dressing or add ketchup to a meal, or even like cooking some French fries in the oven, because I understand what carb numbers I can have, what fat numbers I can have, and things like that because of the tracking of my meals, the whole aspects of what I know goes into the well-balanced meal following my 15-ounce rule. So I mentioned tracking meals. It's very simple to do. Just write down what your meals are. Put it down on pen and paper. That's simple. Meal 1, breakfast, and then you write it out. Meal 2, maybe I had a smoothie, and so on and so forth. So I really wanted to make this video for you guys today because I know eating and dieting is probably the hardest part of the whole bodybuilding lifestyle, and I wanted to give you some simple insight into it. If you guys have any more questions, please ask me directly. You can DM me on Instagram or Facebook. Let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. Catch y'all later.